back to Lex Reads. So today I want to talk about some Black women authors that I have. Just going through, my library, and from time to time I'll go and look at some of the books that I have and just see what they are about, because y'all know I have so many books in this library. And one thing that I found surprising about these books is they were like published, look, now, okay? Not like in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Y'all know how I like to backlist books. Let's just get started. Okay. So first, I've talked about this author before, and it is Piper Huguley. She just started writing historical fiction, and this was her first historical fiction book. This is by her own design. It's inspired by Anne Lowe. She was a designer. She's well known for constructing, designing, and making Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis wedding dress. I've talked about her before. I also talked about how this is on my list to read. But last month, I believe, last month or in February, one of those months, she published a new book, and it's called American Daughters. And I really wanted to read this because it is talking about Portia Washington and Alice Roosevelt. And Portia Washington, that's Booker T. Washington's daughter, and then Alice Roosevelt, that's Theodore Roosevelt's daughter. And I did not know that they were friends. When I tell you, so far I'm liking it. And Alice is a trip, okay? Like, she had me looking up so many things because she was a little... Alice kind of gives you... Y'all remember when Jenna and Barbara Bush... Look, when their daddy was in office, George Bush, y'all remember how they used to cut up in college? Used to be drinking in college and getting arrested and doing citations. She kind of give me that vibe. She was a little wild card. Now, she didn't do all that, but like, she almost was banished from the White House, okay? But when I was reading her, I was thinking about the Bush girls. I'm like, how they used to cut up. But yeah, this so far, really, really like it. Next is The Wedding Gift by Arlene Suwapa Borden, I believe. And I know this is it's a slavery themed book. Slave is given to a young white girl as like a gift. You go through her journey of, living there, living on a plantation. And I think she finds love, things like that. Oh, and it says the slave, the enslaved person, she's also the half sister of the white woman. Oh, the tea. I don't see a lot of people talking about this book. Next is One Night in Georgia by Salete O. Norfleet. I really like this book. No, I actually did read this book a couple years ago. It is set in the 60s, the late 60s. In 1968. And it is, what's the backdrop? The backdrop is Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy. They have already been assassinated. You have three group of girls. Yeah, they are in their last year at, is it Spelman? Yeah, it is Spelman College. And they also have a young man that they're going to pick up to go to Morehouse. But one of the girls, she has a brand new car. Dad bought her a brand new car. And they are traveling from New York all the way to Atlanta in the late 60s in a brand new car for Black children. And everywhere they stop, they get stopped by the police officer because they're like, why in the world are you in a brand new car and you Black? And then when they find out every time when they get stopped and, police ask them, well, where are you going? Oh, we're going back to school. It's our senior year at Spelman, college. And they're so like bewildered, like, what? Like, you're in college? And one of the girls like, yeah, it's our senior year. We're about to graduate. Like, why is that a phenomenon? See how they go from New York to Atlanta and all the racism that they encounter and everything like that. Like, and then also too, you learn about what is it called? The Green Book, the Motorist Green Book, which I have an actual copy of that somewhere in here. After I read that book, I wanted to get a copy of it because it's a booklet where it tells you where to stop at hotels, restaurants, gas stations for Black people. I honestly did enjoy this. I think this author, I would give her another try because although the subject matter was kind of hard, it did have like a little bit of a love story to it. Next is Sweet Sweet Plenty Rhythm by Lauren Morell, I believe. And the publishers actually sent me this. Oh, I love this cover. And when did this come out? I know this came out recently. This came out in 2022. Okay, so it said it's set in 2013. A 40-year-old Boston-based trumpet player and an old school ladies man lives for his music and refuses to be tied down. Before a gig in Miami, he learns that a woman who is secretly close to his heart, the free-spirited drummer Maggie, is pregnant by him. Instead of facing the necessary conversations, Circus, oh, that's his name? Lord. Circus flees, setting off a chain of interlocking revelations from the various women in his life. Most notable among them is his teenage daughter Coco, who idolizes him and is awakened to her own sexuality even as her mental fragile mother struggles to overcome her rejection by Circus. He had Papa was a Rolling Stone. Okay. If you guys have read this, tell me if you liked it or not. Did this get a lot of like, praise and recognition? I really do not remember. Again, the publisher just randomly sent it to me, and I was happy, obviously, that it was a Black woman. And this is a debut novel. Then lastly is Natasha Dion. I have read her before, and I read Grace by her, which is a slavery themed book. Really enjoyed it. I listened to this and read it at the same time, and oh my goodness, like you could see the tabs, how I tabbed it, which these tabs are so ugly. This is back in the day, I always say, when I wasn't concerned about the tabs matching the book. But this, oh my gosh. So you have a young woman, she ends up fleeing her plantation. I believe she kills her owner. It's not a spoiler. And she's on the run. She gets sick, and a woman finds her, and she wakes up and she is in a brothel that is ran by a Jewish woman. It is so good. This was so good. Oh my gosh. But I remember after I read this, I said, you know what? She was on my automatic buy because I loved it so much. So back in 2020, she came out with a book called The Perishing. I asked for it for Christmas for my sister. She got it for me. Started reading it and realized didn't like it, and I DNF'd it. And I was very disappointed because I really enjoyed this book. But I am going to give her another try when she comes up with, another book, her third book, and see if I like it. But this, and I tried to get into it, you guys. She like meets a man, and then all of a sudden she can't remember anything. And that's basically all I can tell you, because I just was so confused the way that, like, she couldn't remember anything, but she had passages of like when she was normal, when she could remember things, and it would go back and forth like that, and it was just so hard to navigate. And I'm like, I'm not understanding this book, where it was getting not enjoyable. And I'm like, yeah, I have to just DNF it. That was during the time where I didn't want to DNF books. I would kind of suffer through it. But this, I could not suffer through it. I just was not getting it at all, and I was getting frustrated. So yeah, I put it down. But I would say out of her two books, this is what you need to read. This is her best book. I'm sorry, Natasha, but I just could not get down with this. Like I said, I will give her another try because I do like the way she writes. It's just this, no. And it had the potential of being such a great story. So yeah, guys, that is it when it comes to this video. Again, I just want to highlight and showcase some Black women authors that, again, I always say, we got more than Toni, Alice, and Maya. Okay, girl. Let's talk about some more. So that's all I have for you guys. I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.